Having and voicing a political opinion is one thing, but not registering to vote to make that opinion count is idiotic. I'm Antoine Anderson. This is the Ujamaa Network. Let's talk Project 2025 and what it means. Faith without works is absolutely dead. That was a Bible verse that was told to me as a young child. And it means, put your money where your mouth is. If you want to get out here and start talking about politics, such as the politics of Project 2025, at least do yourself a favor and make your voice heard, not just on social media, or registering to vote. Now, Black Investments Matter, the website, has links to all the Secretary of State's offices for each of the 50 states. I encourage you to go ahead and check your voting registration status and get registered. It's one thing to talk about this stuff on social media, but it's an entirely different thing to exercise what you're talking about. Put your money where your mouth is and put your vote where your mouth is. The attack on education has been around a lot longer than Project 2025. In fact, it's been around since its creation. The Department of Education was only created in 1979. I was 9 years old at the time by Jimmy Carter. One of the campaign pledges of a then Ronald Reagan back in 1980, when he first took office, was to destroy and dismantle the Department of Education. Now, why is that important in this, and why is that a factor in Project 2025? Well, Project 2025 seeks to eliminate the Department of Education, a continuation of what the Republicans have been doing or have been wanting to do since the beginning of time. Now, the promise of the Department of Education was to give more access to education to many minorities, not just African Americans, and ways to pay for it. Back at the time of its creation, tuition rates were extremely low, but still out of the reach of many Americans attempting to go ahead and further their education. Back then, it was a thing to go ahead and get a higher education and earn higher monies when you enter the labor force. At the current rate, the arguments against funding the Department of Education is tied into the exploding cost of receiving an education. Many people who go out and seek these degrees are hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. A lot of bureaucracy is being created trying to foster these loans, or trying to support these loans that a lot of students are falling into debt in, myself included. Um, the push, however, from the current administration, Biden administration, for debt forgiveness for these exploding rates is only being met by further resistance by the Heritage Foundation and the backers of Project 2025, which wants to dismantle it and leave you holding the bill. What was behind the rate increases in the first place? I received my education in Massachusetts. We had something called Mass Purge, something that was sponsored and started by a man by the name of Ralph Nader. Um, Bernie Sanders of Vermont has had many pieces of legislation introduced to try to assist students with paying for their education while they were earning it. The Clinton administration had a program, AmeriCorps, that was used for people to go to work in the community to earn money to pay for their education. These are all programs that were working, but met with significant resistance from the Republican conservative minorities at those times. Now that they're in the majority, you're starting to see more and more concerted efforts to eliminate it. Now, did we have to wait for Project 2025 to make good on their promises? No. What did we see over the last year? We saw the Supreme Court take action, and part of the tenets of Project 2025's uh, uh, election, or excuse me, education program was to eliminate that very body. And part of that very body that they want to eliminate is what they refer to as DEI initiates, people from diverse backgrounds even entering into college. And what happened in the Supreme Court? Laws that were set up to include more diversity in campuses were struck down. So, regardless of whether or not you are in favor of Project 2025 or not, the work still is happening. And they still have managed, the conservatives that is, still managed to get parts of that agenda across before the election. That's right. You are. It is a harder task now for minorities to enter Ivy League schools or any university for that matter than it has ever been since the creation of the Department of Education. These are the issues that you should be focusing on. And why is it important for you to understand everything behind it before you open your mouth and say something without doing the least bit of research? Check into it. But the attacks on the Department of Education didn't end there. House Resolution 899 has been on the docket of Congress since the 115th Congress. Every 2 years, this is reintroduced. The sponsors of this bill include Mr. Matt Gaetz of Florida. Now, we all know the drama that Matt Gaetz has caused in his own Republican Party. But this one line bill, its only purpose, one line in all of its text, to eliminate the Department of Education. And a lot of it is tied now, like it or lump it, to what they call critical race theory. They want to throw out the entire department because we, as African Americans, want to talk about the trauma and the damage that our racial past in America has created, all of the social ills that we're talking about, including college admissions. So it is very important that you look at this bill or this proposal of Project 25 to see where the faults are. Some of you guys are making snap judgments and backing a president, president-elect, former President Trump, thinking that, oh, well, gas was a lot cheaper under Trump. Are you serious? Have you looked at any of the proposals in this thing? Obviously not. Have you looked at any financial records and saying what you're actually voting for? I don't think you have. It is easy to look at a snapshot in time and say, oh, I was doing better under this year. Do you not understand that the bills put in place in the previous administrations before you was doing so good were from a Democratic Congress? Do you not understand that presidents don't push agendas, don't vote on agendas? They may champion it, they may use their bully pulpit, but that's done in the House, particularly the House of Representatives, not the Senate, because it's the House of Representatives that has the purse strings. So understand that you guys are making these political decisions based off of some faulty civics lessons that you failed. Get in the know. We're going to keep this conversation going by you hitting the like and subscribe button and let me know what the content felt like to you. I want people to stop treating their politics like it's a matter of choosing your favorite team sport. This is not what it is. This is some decisions that are going to affect you and your family's lives in the long run. I'm Antoine Anderson. Thank you for stopping by.